Hello, my people. How is everyone doing this evening? It is, what is today's date? January 26th, 2023. We are in 26 days into the month of January, y'all, and so much has transpired within these 26 days. I mean, so much. But we're going to talk about a few things. Before we get started, go ahead and like and share on Instagram, YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook. Let's grow with Yo-Yo. We're going to talk about some things today. But we always got to do first is your Did You Know in Black History? Well, tonight we're talking about Shirley Chisholm. Do y'all know who she is? Shirley Chisholm was born in 1924, November 30th. In 1964, she was elected into the New York State Legislature. In 1972, she became the first African-American woman in Congress. And also, she became the first woman to ever run for the office of president in the United States. She had an interest in develop a national healthcare system that everyone would have health care, hence the Affordable Care Act, y'all, that everyone in the United States would have health care, young or old. That is your Did You Know in Black History, Shirley Chisholm. Y'all, listen. I was debating on whether to come on tonight because I wasn't really up to par. But I have to talk about it. Florida. Ron DeSantis. Here we go. What in the Sam Dickens is going on with Florida? First, he wants to ban AP African American Studies in colleges. These are colleges. These are courses that children, young adults pick as courses they want to learn about in college that their parents are paying for, right? This is not middle school, elementary school, high school. This is college. And not only that, Florida has 4 HBCUs: FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, Edward Waters University, and Florida Memorial University. Those 4 HBCUs is in Florida. So you're telling these Black children, young adults, that they cannot study their history? And I quote, this is what he says. The one lesson that is on the agenda is queer history. And they are trying to push an agenda to our children. First of all, nobody's trying to push an agenda to anybody's child, right? But LGBTQIA+ has been a part of history since God knows when, right? If you look at old movies, lesbian, homosexuality was there. That was part of history, right? We're not politicizing it. It is just part of history. However, here are some of the things that was on the AP African Americans course. It was the origin of Africa diaspora, freedom, enslavement, and resistance, practice of freedom, and movements and debates. Those were the 4 units that would be covered in the African American studies in school, in college, right? So it wasn't like they were just throwing anything up there. They took their time. They collaborated with a lot of different colleges and universities to come up with a syllabus that will target a lot of our history. African American history is American history, right? Not just European history, not Japanese history, not Chinese history, but African American history. All those are part of the United States. Indigenous people, they are part of this history in this country. So where does he get off of doing this? Because he's the governor, and 72% of the white population voted for him. A lot of Blacks, brown, and indigenous people that live in Florida voted the other way, but a lot of Cubans voted for Ron DeSantis. I don't know why, but they did. They're going against their own historical content on that. So this has been something that we really, really need to address and get out and talk about, because this is our history, y'all. Not only that, but now I posted something on TikTok about Gen Zers grabbed some attorneys, some big names, Crump, and some others, to spearhead a lawsuit against Ron DeSantis for this curriculum that's not being taught in schools. So I really hope and pray that it goes over into what they need, because that goes into that woke agenda that he is pushing in his state. And let's be real, y'all. Let's be honest. That woke agenda is really him saying he doesn't like Black people. He's pushing his agenda to become president, and it's really starting to be a lot and messy. And yeah, we need to get that out. Now, while he is doing this, in his state, three schools now. 3 schools. We're talking about Florida. We're selling nursing licenses. He's worried about African American history, and you have 3 schools in your state selling nursing licenses. It was 76,000 licenses that was 7,600 licenses that were sold from these three schools. Now, my thing is, they didn't pass the state board. How were they able to get a transcript saying that they passed? Of course, they never took. How did they pass the state board to become nurses? Some of these people were nursing in hospitals, in home health aides. They were doing this. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. This is, again, Florida. And so it's a lawsuit against them. They're not trying, from my understanding, from my reading, they weren't trying to arrest the people that got the licenses, but the people that were selling, and the top of the head is the schools on why they were selling these licenses. And it was selling them for $15K, $5K to $15K. I'm confused. I'm like, Lord, what in the world was going on in Florida? What is going on, Florida? What do y'all got going on over there? Now, Florida's not as bad. It's bad, but let's talk about Texas, the state that I am in. Greg Abbott is up to his old shenanigans, and the ban that he is establishing on abortions is a topic that is going to be dear to a lot of people. And I say this because 78% of white women that voted for him are now saying that they are mad because of the agenda he's pushing for abortion bans. Not only him, but the House of Representatives up in Washington, D.C. wants a federal ban across the board where no state can perform abortions. None. In Arkansas, they have on a bill right now to criminalize anyone that has an abortion. Anyone that has an IUD, anyone that takes birth control pills, anyone that has a spontaneous abortion. You know, sometimes a miscarriage, sometimes, and that's going on in the state of Texas, sometimes a woman's body just cannot handle having a fetus inside of it, and it aborts, or it doesn't correlate. It's just a woman's nature. So they want to criminalize women for this. If you go get the artificial insemination and it doesn't take, they could criminalize you for that too. I don't know what it's going to take for this country to get back to some sanity, but it's going to have to be soon. We are, especially women, are in a fight for our lives. Black women, period. Black, brown, indigenous, and other people of color are having a hard time anyway. And now all these laws that are coming out is not to help us, it's to help, the envelope people. But at the same time, if your history is not being taught, listen to me, people, Black people, brown people, indigenous people, you teach your children. And I have some great books for you. Now, I read this book, The 1619 Project. Very good book, long, but it's about our history, how slavery started. I got this book. What is it? Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King. It's about Martin Luther King, the history of, him. Also, The Great Migration. It talks about how we migrated to the north and some in the south. The Underground Railroad. They're children's books, kind of, but they're also good for people who don't know African American history. So those are some good books. Also, Have You Thanked an Inventor Today? What African American people invented for this country. It has one for men and women. So these are some books that you can start teaching your children at home about your history. Also on Hulu, the 1619 Project has the documentary series that is going on. If you want to look on that, let me go ahead and do this nugget. NBC.com is where I got the course curriculum for the HBCU African American Studies that Ron DeSantis wants to ban. When I talked about the origin of African diaspora, the practice of freedom, moments of movements and debates, and freedom, enslavement, and resistance. Those are the courses that he wants to ban. And also trying to say that queer history is not American history, which actuality it is. So those are some things that I want to talk to you all tonight. Listen, let's back these Gen Z children up that is fighting, because they need to know their history. It's not just Black young adults. It's also white young adults that came up with this lawsuit for learning African American history. It is their right. It is our right. It's a right of the 14th Amendment. The 15th Amendment, we have that right to learn what we want to learn in schools. Also, we need to teach our own children our things. But anyway, that is the show for tonight. It wasn't going to be a long show. I wish you all well. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. God bless. Girl.